guys, welcome back to my channel. I feel like it's been a little bit too long since I've done a YouTube video, and I am pretty much ready to pop this week. I am now over 39 weeks pregnant, so I thought I would come on and just do one last video for you guys. I put on my Instagram a Q&A for my third trimester, so you have sent in all of your questions for just what you want to know about my third trimester experience. And while I do that, I am going to do a bit of a pamper skin 10-step routine. I have a few new products that I want to try, so I'm going to do that while I answer your questions. If you haven't subscribed to my channel already, I would absolutely adore if you did. Obviously, you will get notifications if I put up a new video, which I plan on doing throughout my baby experience and new baby coming. And I continue to share videos every single week. And also, it's just a massive support to me and growing our family and our community here, so I really appreciate it. So let's get into your questions, and number one for my skin routine. So first question is, how are you feeling in general? So as I do this, I am going to start with my jelly cleanser. I got this new one and I actually haven't tried it yet, so I'm super excited to try the jelly cleanser by the Drunk Elephant. They are one of my favorite brands, so super excited to try. So anyway, how I'm feeling in general is pretty amazing, to be honest. Like, as if you've been following me for the majority of my pregnancy, you'll know that I have been basically sick for my entire pregnancy. I was sick up until about 35 weeks. It was insane nausea. It was literally just feeling crap all of the time. So that was a real pain. I really kept thinking it was gonna finish. People kept telling me, just hang on in there. You're nearly there, out of your first trimester. And basically I, as a result, kind of did not enjoy my pregnancy. It was very difficult to enjoy being that sick all of the time. So my third trimester, honestly, I have just been loving just having my energy back and being able to get up in the morning and not feel like I want to vomit every morning, being able to get up and just be more intuitive, work out when I want, etc. Taking two while I just rinse this off. It gets even more foamy when you put the water on it. I've also just, my relationship with food, which maybe I'll get to again later in the questions, has been just so amazing throughout my third trimester. I'm just able to be super intuitive, which I've really enjoyed, and it's probably like the first time in my life, so I've loved that. But my energy and how I'm feeling overall in my body has definitely been the best trimester for me. Next question is, any new cravings? I'm gonna double cleanse with the Superberry Dream Cleansing Balm, which I am loving at the moment. Just put a good chunk of it in your finger, rub it into your hands, and it is just so divine. Oh my God. As you can see, it goes into this kind of oily consistency and just feels like it is melting into your skin. It is just so divine. I actually don't want to wash it off ever when I use it. So any new cravings? Honestly, no. Throughout my pregnancy, really, because I was so nauseous, I didn't really have a lot of cravings. I would say I leaned definitely more toward savory food. But what really surprised me with food was that my appetite was just not the same as it used to be. I thought I would be stuffing my face constantly, and yes, definitely in the second trimester I was hungrier, but the bigger I got, the less room I felt I had. I wasn't able to eat as much as I usually do because I have a massive appetite. So I found that that was like super strange, but no, like really no cravings. One thing that's really surprised me is, because I've been a bit of a freak about food for like 10 years and constantly dieting and all that unhealthy relationship with food that I used to have, I haven't had a McDonald's in like, I would say since like pre-teen years. I never, like, obviously I was into it as a kid, and it was such a treat as a kid, but as I got into my teen years, I was never really into McDonald's, and as a woman in my 20s and etc., I just hated it. I was like almost a bit of a McDonald's snob. I've had more McDonald's than I would like to admit to, but that for me was just amazing, getting to enjoy McDonald's again. It was such a nostalgic feeling, and it really did bring me so much joy. There was actually one night where I went out for dinner with friends, came home, and Connor was like having a tub of ice cream, and I was like, you know what, I think I'm gonna order a McChicken burger, and I ordered a Uber Eats McDonald's. Like, I just never thought I would do that in my life. So that was kind of a funny, weird craving that I've had sporadically throughout the pregnancy. Now, I'm saying like more than I'd like to admit. I would say it was about, I've had McDonald's maybe 3 or 4 times, but that is a lot for me since I haven't had it since I was a kid. So that was pretty cool. Okay, I've rinsed that off. My face and my skin already feels insane. Already so moisturized, and just, I can't even explain what this feeling is after that cleanser. I'm gonna link it below for you guys. It is just my favorite cleanser, along with the Alamise Pro Collagen. Okay, so next question is, do you love your bump or is it uncomfortable? And how do you enjoy dressing your bump? So I have loved my bump, but honestly not as much as I thought I would. I haven't found dressing that hard because I usually wear like super oversized stuff anyway. Now I got these eye patches, which I'm going in with now, from Pixie. I asked about eye patches a few months ago on my Instagram, and you guys all said these eye patches were the best. So I've never used them before, so I'm super excited. Okay, I'm kind of nervous. I don't really know what I'm doing here. Ooh, it's like a liquid and a little scooper thing to get it out. Okay, here we go. I have no idea if that's like the right way even to do this, but let's see. They're like super liquidy. Okay, so as well as this, I'm gonna do a little mask while I chat a bit more. They're like fully slipping down my face. That's because I have 2 on and the weight of them. Okay, you can obviously see that I am not, oh, I have 3. Okay, I am not a beauty blogger. Now, hopefully that stays. Now I'm going with the Super Clay Purify and Clear Power Mask by Youth to the People as well. So this one is like the cleanser. I am a big fan of this brand, so oof. Anyway, so yeah, I was kind of surprised at how much I didn't really love my bump. I do enjoy it obviously, but it was uncomfortable. It was obviously has meant that I haven't been able to do yoga or anything like that, so that has been a little bit annoying. But yeah, my bump was something that I just, I assumed that I would love, as along with the rest of my pregnancy, but definitely wasn't really something that I was really attached to or anything. It also brought up a lot of anxiety for me. So 2 of my sister-in-laws are pregnant as well, or were pregnant. They've now had their babies, but I found like I was comparing a lot, especially in this last trimester. I have found that one of the reasons I actually went to the emergency room last week was because I was worried that the baby wasn't growing because of the size of my bump. So I feel like, along with so many other things in pregnancy that you can compare to everyone else, the size of your bump, the shape of your bump, for me anyway, was something that I kind of worried about a lot. So that was a little bit frustrating, that it was actually kind of a source of anxiety for me. which I never thought, like I never thought that I would judge the size of my bump, but it just goes to show that you don't really change in your pregnancy. Anything, if you're judgmental about yourself or your body before, you're going to be judgmental throughout your pregnancy. So yeah, that's something that I have been surprised about my bump. And obviously I do look forward to dressing differently when the bump and when the baby is here and the bump is no longer there. But definitely I was surprised that I kind of actually enjoyed dressing my bump. I didn't find it really that restrictive at all, so that was nice. So next question is creams you've used for your stretch marks. So I am so blessed. Obviously I was unlucky with some elements of my pregnancy, like being sick as a dog for 35 weeks, but I am so lucky with my genes, and I cannot stress enough how much this is just all about your genes and luck, because I was unlucky with being sick, but I am so lucky with my skin. I have my mom's skin. There are certain things about my mom that I am literally identical in. It's actually kind of bizarre, but we have like the same body, and stretch marks is something that just is not in my genes, I feel. What I did love using and have used on my belly is any rose hip oil, but this is the organic rose hip oil by Trilogy, which I adored. I used on my belly, and I would mix it with any kind of moisturizer, it doesn't really matter, and I would put this on my chest, my boobs, my belly, and my outer hips, and kind of my bum. I absolutely adored this. I also used the gel bio oil, which I really liked as well, and yeah, they felt super moisturizing, super oily, and I loved the smells. So not that I can really advise creams for stretch marks because I didn't get them and I don't have them, but these are the ones that I used. So next question is, are you nervous for labor and my birth plan? Honestly, the nerves for labor come and go. I have done a course which I would really advise. It's the Positive Birth Company, and I did their hypnobirthing course online. I would really advise it. I loved it. I did it all with Connor online. We watched the videos together. They're super short, very informative. Yeah, so I don't really have a birth plan. I'm going to do my best to have a all-natural, medication-free birth, and yesterday I actually wrote down kind of my reasons for that, and I'm trying to let go. I'm quite a competitive person, so I'm trying to let go of it being about proving something to myself or proving something to other people. I don't know if that's subconsciously just so ingrained in me that I am so competitive with kind of, I don't know if it's a good thing or a bad thing, and honestly I'm just trying my best to I want to be able to experience what my body is capable of, and I'm trying to look at that as a positive thing and not a negative thing. Obviously if the birth and the labor is super long and like I'm 24 hours in or 48 hours or 36 hours or whatever it is, and I'm exhausted and I've done everything I can and I feel like I've reached my limit, then obviously there are certain things that I would obviously change. I think the most important thing, and I think the anxiety of pregnancy that I have experienced, is that actually nothing matters other than that the baby coming out healthily. So that is my main priority. Second priority is to be able to experience birthing my child. It's the only time I'm ever going to birth this baby. I'm never going to get this opportunity again, and I would like to be able to feel the entire thing, and to experience the entire thing like millions of women have done. And I feel like this is what what women's bodies are made for, is to birth a child. And no matter how you do it, it's amazing, but I would like to experience the kind of animalistic way of doing it, the way our bodies are made, that our vaginas and everything is like, that's what it's made for. So I'm trying to just allow that to guide me and to yeah, I want to be able to experience that. If I have a different experience, it's not going to be any less, but that for me is kind of fascinating, and that limitlessness of our body and our mind's potential, and be able to challenge myself to try, because I think like my fitness journey and my yoga journey and being a yoga teacher and meditating and all that, I feel like it's part of who I am, and I think that that should play a part in the role or in birthing my child, and like the power of my mind. And I'm so used to doing that, like let's say in a workout, pushing myself, listening to myself, noticing if it's my mind that's telling me that I should be giving up or my body that's telling me. So I just want to be able to experience that in the birth of my child. I don't know if that's a good answer, or anyway, but yeah, I don't really have a birth plan other than I would like it to be a natural, pain-free, but who knows. I might not be able for it, and I might have an idea of myself that just is so beyond my capabilities, so who knows, let's see. But yes, a short answer is I am pretty scared, and I think I am excited to explore the level of like my body's power, but I'm also just like probably scared of the expectation that puts on myself, and whether I'll be able to meet that expectation, because I'm quite judgmental and I like to hold myself accountable to things, and I don't want to feel like I'm failing. And I know that's probably the wrong thing to say, but that's how I feel. Okay, something that surprised you about pregnancy. Let me take this off with a face cloth and then I'll come back. I'm gonna take these off, and then I'm gonna rub that stuff in. Ooh, they were really nice, and I love this mask. Okay, let's take it off and see. Something that I think I've already mentioned, there's loads that has surprised me about pregnancy. The main thing was that I thought I would love pregnancy. I thought that obviously in my journey to getting pregnant was quite difficult. For me, I found it very difficult. I found it emotionally really challenging. I didn't have my period, and I had to try and get that back, and then I wasn't getting pregnant. I had a miscarriage. All of these things I found really difficult getting pregnant, or just the journey to getting pregnant I found mentally really draining, and kind of broke me down a bit. So I thought that once I got pregnant, everything would be perfect and I would just be so excited, and I actually just I thought I would kind of just be so grateful to be pregnant that none of my previous anxieties about like food or body image would exist anymore. I thought I would just like be a new person, and I thought I would love pregnancy. And it was really surprising to me that basically pregnancy just didn't really change me. For now, I have felt, I'll get to this in a minute, but that's what surprised me the most, was that even though I was basically experiencing the thing that I wanted more than anything in my life, my whole life, being pregnant and growing my baby, I was still concerned about things that are just so pointless and like unimportant, like my body shape, what I ate, etc. So in a way, I think it's nice to know that pregnancy doesn't change you. Like, I still wanted to be fit, I still wanted to be healthy, and that's probably a good thing, but I did like probably worry about my body too much, and that was something I was surprised by. What I'm also really surprised by is that toward the end of my pregnancy, I realized how much pregnancy has changed my attitude to food, and it actually has helped me with my anxiety about my body and my eating. So that is something I'll get into maybe in another video, because it's just way too complex. There's just way too much to talk about there, but that is something that really surprised me. Also, just anxiety in general about the pregnancy was for me crippling. From day one, I have been just crippled with anxiety about losing this baby. Everything I questioned everything. I didn't really feel confident in my pregnancy at all. I was worried constantly. I wanted to get scans all the time. And again, if you are like somebody who worries, I think that's just going to be something that you experience. And a lot of women kind of talked about like the power, like how they just were fascinated by the power of their body. That wasn't something I experienced like massively. Obviously, I think it's a miracle. But I think for me anyway, mentally I was so dependent or needed Connor's help so much that I think it's amazing what the human body or the woman's body can do. But that wasn't something that like was overwhelming for me, where I thought constantly, wow, it's so amazing. I don't know what I'm trying to say here, but I found that a bit weird, that I wasn't more in awe of my body. Next question is, what are you most excited about? So I'm going in with the Pixie Glow Tonic. So this is the first time I'm actually using these Pixie products, and I love. So I'm going to go in with a tonic, which I never really use, so I'm not really quite sure how to use, but I have read that you just literally put it on your skin and dab it. So let's see if that feels good. I'm just going to put it in my hands, put it on my skin. So what am I most excited for? Where do I even start? I just don't even know. Like, it's very hard to feel excitement, to be honest, because I'm so scared. I can't believe that this baby is actually coming, and I'm finding it very hard to trust and to let go of the fear that something might happen. I always think that I'm going to be the one that something bad will happen, and I feel like obviously every woman feels that way, but or maybe not every woman, but a lot of women would feel that way. As I've said, now I'm going in with hyaluronic acid by The Ordinary. That both of my sister-in-laws and my best friend have recently had their baby in the last 4 weeks, and I have found that really difficult because they were always ahead of me throughout the pregnancy, just by a few weeks, and they were always getting their scans ahead of me, and things were all clear, all healthy ahead of me. Now their babies are here ahead of me, and I always just felt kind of superstitious almost that something bad is bound to happen to one of us, and I always felt it was going to be me. So that sounds just so negative, but it's just, I'm trying to be honest here, that is my crippling fear. So trying to be excited is difficult for me, but if I was to say what I'm most excited about, is having kind of a purpose or like a meaning to my life that I know I've never experienced. I think purpose and meaning is probably the most important thing in life, and being a friend and being a good sister and daughter and wife gives me purpose. But I think being a mother and being responsible for somebody else, that selflessness, I'm really excited for something that's just bigger than me, that's more important than me. And yeah, just having that meaning in my life and that purpose to get up every day for something else outside of me. And obviously just meeting the love of my life. Like, I feel loving Connor, I'm very, very lucky with my relationship with Connor and the husband that I have matched with and that has chosen me to be his wife, because loving him gives me just so much joy, and it's the best part of my life, loving Connor. And the idea that I could love something more than Connor is like, just excites me so much. So I suppose that love and that meaning and purpose in my life, I'm just so excited for. So the next question is, do you find stronger movements scary in the third trimester? No, I find when they don't move, I find I'm terrified. So I, yeah, definitely found the kind of monitoring the movement in the third trimester quite stressful, because you have to, if the baby doesn't move 10 to 12 times every 12 hours, you should go to the emergency room, and they stress that a lot. So just knowing, keeping track of its movement stressed me out. So when it did move, I was just like always so excited, and I'm constantly trying to get it moving. So yeah, no, I absolutely adore when it moves. I wish that Connor could feel it more. I feel sad that he doesn't get to feel that. But yeah, I absolutely adore the movement. Nice baby changing bags, I will link below. I definitely have a few. I have one for the baby changing, or the crib, sorry, for when I am changing in the night. And then I have one for my handbag that it will be really easy to transfer from handbag to handbag. And then I also have ones for the stroller as well, that you attach to the stroller. So I will link them below, some of which I have discount codes for. So yeah. I'll also be doing way more videos when the baby comes of like what I have found most helpful and most convenient, all that kind of stuff, and products that I have loved and would advise you invest in. So there's kind of two questions that are kind of falling into the same category, which is kind of like, am I having a hospital or home birth, the Lisbon experience in general in hospitals, and like how often are you seeing your OBGYN? So now I'm going in with the Kiehl's and my gua sha. So I would say, well, firstly, I'm having a hospital birth, and that is something that I think I would do anyway. I'm sad that I don't have the choice. Lisbon or Portugal are a little bit behind, where they don't really offer kind of water birth or home birth, really, I don't think. So I'm kind of disappointed that I don't have the choice of doing that, but I think I would always have a hospital birth just because I'm such an anxious person. But basically, the experience here has been, overall, I would say negative. Honestly, I don't know if I would have a baby here again. I found it very, the Portuguese, they're not as warm as the Irish. I hope I don't get any hate for this, but anyway, I'm just gonna be honest. They're not as warm as the Irish, so I found that quite difficult. I found it really difficult that all of my friends, etc., were having different tests, different kind of system at home, and here they're really kind of full on in the beginning, which actually you think is good, but they're quite like, oh my god, you haven't had this test and you haven't had this, you should be getting this, and it's too late for that. And it was really stressful in the beginning. And their manner is just quite, as I said, not warm. I'm not going to say cold, but not that warm. So you just feel like you're just constantly doing something wrong. And yeah, and then the monitoring has been okay, like once a month, I would say. I saw my doctor, but toward the end, they don't do the kind of seeing once a week. I didn't get to go to the hospital or see where I was giving birth until last week, which is kind of insane. So that's why I actually ended up going into the emergency room, because I just wasn't feeling safe, I wasn't feeling supported or comfortable, and it ended up that my amniotic fluid was actually quite low. I just knew in my gut that something was wrong and that I wasn't being checked. Like, they didn't check the position of the baby, which, yeah, they should really be doing in the last few weeks in case it's breech and you need to do things to try and move it. Anyway, overall, I would say negative. I loved my doctor, I loved my nurse, but overall I would say that I didn't feel comfortable, I didn't feel at ease. I felt actually quite the opposite, and everything here is super slow. going to get your results. Nothing is done online, so I had no contact numbers for hospitals. I wasn't able to reach my doctor. We went public, not private. And at home, like when I would ask my friends, they'd be like, oh, just call your midwife. And I was like, I don't have a number for a midwife. So all of those things I found to be stressful. And honestly, I don't think I would have another baby in Portugal unless I was, and if I was, I would definitely go private. And even though I'm saying that we did all of our scans in the beginning private here, and they were still just, they were thorough, but I didn't like it. I didn't like the experience. And then last but not least, how are you finding spinning and exercising in the third trimester? So this is my favorite moisturizer, the Wellbeing Skin Food. So I'm just gonna go in with that. So spinning, I have actually I hated spinning. I never enjoyed it because I was a runner. I never enjoyed the classes, but Amplify here in Lisbon has literally saved my cardio addiction life. I absolutely adored it. I'm still spinning. I went to a class this morning and I'm 39 weeks and 3 days. For me personally, there were days where obviously I was more tired and I felt maybe a little bit more pressure on my pelvic floor, but overall I had to give up running at 5 months, which I found really difficult because I love getting a sweat on, and I just loved the powerful feeling of sorry, I'm just gonna brush my teeth with my Spotlight oral care. I loved the powerful feeling, I loved the energy, I loved that I was just able to go to a class and get my sweat on. Other than that, working out, I have done mostly Pilates. Yoga was just didn't feel good in my body. So yeah. Yeah, so overall I'm pretty surprised at how good I have felt exercising all the way up until the end. I'm a freak and I pushed myself through all the nausea in the beginning. But I'm using the Laneige lip treatment balm, which is just heaven. And it has this little cute sticky thing, and you like take it out with that. Super cute. Personally, I am somebody who has worked out like consistently for over 10 years, so I am so glad and lucky that I was able to stay consistent and stay motivated. And yeah, I absolutely was terrified. I think there's a lot of fear around working out, and in the first trimester obviously I didn't do as much, but second and third trimester I felt amazing. I'm so glad I've kept it up. My body feels strong and healthy, and yeah. So yeah, I have no idea what effect it's going to have on my birth, or there are loads of people that are fit out there and then go through a really tough birth and tough recovery, so I have no idea what that's going to be like, or if it's going to stand to me. People keep saying it is. I don't really understand how it does, but mentally for me it just was so much help in having something to go to every day, to wake up for, to do for myself, to keep that part of myself that I love. My dedication to movement and how motivated that makes me feel, and how good it makes me feel, and how happy it makes me feel. I was so glad to be able to keep that part of me and myself throughout my pregnancy. So yeah, I'm super lucky. I'm not here to tell you to do the same, but if you can incorporate movement into your everyday life, I think it's just the best thing for body and mind. So anyway, that is all their questions. That is my 10-step skincare routine. I feel absolutely amazing. I'm gonna go dry my hair and stay in my robe for the day. But thank you so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed that video. Oh wow, my skin is actually glowing. But yeah, who knows, next video, I don't know, maybe will be with my brand new little addition to my family, the center of our world, our little baby. So wish me luck, and again, if you have not subscribed, I would really appreciate it if you did. I appreciate every single one of you here in this family. So thank you so much, and chat to you soon.